We all have missions that we believe in, but that's not enough. You need a remarkable team to move that mission forward.
Well, hey everybody, welcome to Reaching for Remarkable. I'm Brian Taylor, part of the Slingshot Group team, and we help you build remarkable teams through staffing and coaching. That's what we're going to be talking about today. Now, if you've been listening to us for a while, you might notice things look a little bit different. We've relaunched the podcast with a new name, but the same focus, which is teams. Not just talking about leadership in the abstract, but digging into what it takes to build teams that are more than just functional. Teams that are remarkable. So that's what this is, and we're glad you're here for it. To kick things off, I'm joined today by Tim Foote, President and CEO of Slingshot Group, and the author of the book this series is built on, Reaching for Remarkable. Tim, it's so good to have you.
Hey, good to be with you, Brian.
I'm really excited for us to jump into this today. And I know that you have been working on this project for some time. And I think as we've been talking, part of what sparked that for you is a lot of the leaders that we engage with, that we get to serve, they have a mission that they really care about, something deeply motivating to them. But you've discovered that just having a remarkable mission isn't enough, right? Tell us about that.
Yeah, the premise of you say I've been working on it for a while, and I think I've been working on it for probably the last 15 plus years as we've worked with over 4,000 teams and observed what takes them from functional to remarkable, what keeps them in functional. But then I think for me, it's a journey of being a part of teams, loving teams, being developed by teams, leading teams. But I've also learned that all of us have amazing missions. I mean, that's what we wake up and go to work, whether that be the remote office or points our cars to the office. We all have missions that we believe in, but that's not enough. You need a remarkable team to move that mission forward. And I mean, you look at Jesus and the greatest mission of all. He needed a team and entrusted a team to move it forward. He left that mission in the hands of a team. A remarkable mission is not enough. You need a remarkable team to move it forward.
And one of the things that you said that I've stuck to is you actually believe that every remarkable mission deserves a remarkable team to empower that. And so tell us, like 15 plus years of working through this day in and day out, why write a book now?
Well, for us, I always say at Slingshot, our kingdom first priority is to leave teams better than we found them and to help them be their best and to be healthy. We want to place great leaders on healthy teams. And so how do we take what we have learned and observed and put it in a place where we can use that to coach and consult and help teams move towards remarkable? We like to say reach for remarkable.
Yeah. Was the transition from being in the room, coaching leaders and teams to writing a book, like were you surprised by that process? Like what was it like to write it, to sit down and to work out the ideas on paper as opposed to what you might be doing in front of a board or in a conference room?
For starters, a lot of people use ghostwriters these days, those kinds of things. I really wanted to write this because it was inside of me and it was part of that whole coaching journey, working with so many teams. So sitting down and actually doing it took some discipline, but it was an enjoyable process. I mean, you get to a stage where you're kind of like, wow, my head is in this. I need to get my eyes up and my head up. But actually realizing that this is fairly fundamental. I mean, it's a pathway from functional to remarkable. You follow these focus areas, these key signatures, it's going to lead you to remarkable.
Yeah, you teed this up. We share a musical history. Like we both have musicians in previous lives. And I love that the core kind of themes are built around the key signatures, the 7 key signatures of a remarkable team. All the musicians out there are going to immediately get that musical connection. But walk us through those 7 key signatures.
Yeah. First, let me back up. So you mentioned that I've got a musical background. That was, when I first started in the workforce, it was working in the music industry, and I learned that my most rewarding experiences were when I was on a stage and I was the weakest musician on the stage. and sometimes it was leading the band.
Right.
And it was all of us working together to make each other better and to reach for something greater than what we could do on our own. And so as I was reflecting on those experiences, it made me reflect on the fact that in music, there's structure that allows you to create something wonderful together. It doesn't just happen.
Yeah.
There's construct. And that's where it came to me when I was looking at these focus areas that we've observed that remarkable teams focus on. Then naturally came 7. And you would know in music space, there are 7 key signatures. And then signatures and keys open door to growth.
Yes.
There were so many meanings to those words that they just seemed to stick. And to give you straight up what those key signatures are, the first is conviction, and that's a shared understanding of our why we do what we do and how we're called to it. So conviction. The next is message, and that's clarity around communicating what matters most, because everything communicates. Everything we do communicates a message. Then culture, shared values that shape the soul of our team. Then roles, unique contributions that lead to remarkable impact and remarkable results. Then systems that scale us for remarkable growth. Friction that propels us to remarkable growth. And then risk, which are strategic, bold moves that lead us forward.
And those 7 key signatures you found as you've worked with different organizations, when you see them in operation, that's when teams get to move from just being functional. There's a lot of talk about functional, dysfunctional, toxic, but we think you should reach for more than just functional. And those 7 key signatures are really what push you over the edge.
Well, and sometimes, Brian, you don't know why you might be stuck. Or your mission is so important to you as a team leader or as a member of the team. Are we focusing on the right things that are actually moving it forward, or have we stagnated? Have we stalled? If we've stalled, why have we stalled? Where do we sit on these 7, and how do we align them all and align together to move forward?
So you're talking about awareness, which is an interesting concept in the world of leadership, and there's plenty of leadership books and things that are out there. Lots of talk about self-awareness. And it's an important quality for any leader to have that self-awareness. But you introduce something called team awareness in the book. I'm interested, like, where do you delineate between the importance of self-awareness versus the importance of the broader team awareness?
I mean, self-awareness, we always talk about this in the coaching and consulting work that we do, that self-awareness is such a high value, and it's a key to successful leadership, to be self-aware. I don't think we talk enough about team awareness, and that is, how are we complementing each other? How are we focusing on the right things? How are we supporting one another? How are we engaging with a spirit of humility that allows others to shine at the right time? How are we aware that we're surrounding ourselves with the right people? How is our mission bigger than any one of us? I don't think we talk enough about or focus enough on the whole concept of team awareness and what that means and how we can move forward faster, further together.
Yeah. And so your encouragement would be, as leaders are jumping into this process, assessing where their organization is at, as they're reading through the book, listening to this podcast, to think broader than just individuals, almost like breaking out of the silos that we as leaders tend to step into. Now, speaking of, you're not writing this just out of observation. No. You lead us an incredible, my opinion, I think I can be a little bit biased when I say this, you lead an incredible team here at Slingshot Group. And I'm interested to know, how does leading Slingshot shape the words that you wrote and the experiences that you speak to in this book? Like, help us see the parallels of the work that we do internally, not just as we're serving the organizations we have the opportunity to serve.
Well, a number of ways. I mean, I think we have an amazing team, and I think any one of us on our leadership team can at any time lead our company in each person's area of expertise.
Yeah.
So for me, it's, how do I lead in an open-handed way knowing our team and their strengths to help us move forward collectively, to go forward beyond anything I could do on
Yeah.
my own. So partly it's that, but also it's looking internally at each of these 7. It's interesting. As I was working on this book project, it was doing a work on my own heart.
Yeah,
and
I was wondering, like, is there any moments where you're like, ooh,
Oh, yeah.
we got to work on that?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And even concurrently with this book, it caused me to go, okay, where's our team at on each of these 7? And how do we focus better on each of these 7? And what does that mean? We can't release a book if we're not looking more closely at these 7 key areas, these 7 key signatures, and working out how to employ them into our team and our work, how to make our product better and how we serve the teams that we work with. So it's been a lot of internal work that has happened alongside the writing and releasing of this book.
I love that. Like, we can't lead if we're not living it. We can't preach it if we're not actually embodying those principles.
How's that felt for you? I mean, you're on the team, and you've gotten bits and pieces of this to release date, and now we're talking about it. How have you experienced it?
Yeah, I think it's been transformative in so many ways. You start with the self-awareness as you're talking about it. My first thought is like, whoa, how do I show up in my part of the organization? How do I show up in the rooms that I'm in? And then you immediately see, as we're all paying attention to that, it's like in our conversations as a strategic leadership team, we're going, hey, I had that same epiphany that you just had about your, and then that allowed us to see trends in the organization. So we're almost like guinea pigs in a lot of ways in the experimentation process of, I love, our core value of innovation. And it's really easy to think about innovation when we're talking blue sky.
Right.
When it's like, oh, there's something out there in the great blue horizon. Yeah. Innovating, when you're iterating something that already exists, is a totally different process. And I've been so encouraged by your leadership guiding us through that, I would say with a gracious and sensitive hand, but also with a determined focus of saying, hey, we're going to embody this, we're going to do it, and we're going to depend on the principles and the realities of these 7 key signatures to make sure we actually reach for remarkable ourselves.
Yeah. And you would know, Brian, that we had a number of meetings where I asked the team, hey, how does this catch you? What does this language land for you? What have you seen? Because I wanted this to be, we've got a lot of research in the book, but I wanted it to come from real examples of how we've served organizations and what we've learned from their teams. And so I was learning from you as we went too. And I think as I look back, Brian, I would say, as I look back over my life and career, it's been defined by team. And one of the greatest joys for me has been building teams. And as I look back in my early years, I was never the smartest kid in the room. And I realized, I quote an ancient proverb in the book to go, if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. And as I kept saying yes to God in my own journey, it's taken me across the other side of the world, but all of it has been defined by team. And showing up in a room, assuming, hey, in a bunch of different areas, I'm absolutely not the smartest person. What an honor it is to get to grow and to lead and to move forward with this team of people. And then to transfer that to the teams that we work with in the organizations that we serve, and to walk into a room and to remind the people in that room, there's uniqueness in this room that doesn't appear anywhere else. So how do you mine the gold?
Yeah.
And how do you focus on the right things that move you forward in the right ways?
Yeah. So Tim, like you mentioned earlier, lots of leadership books. Who is this book for? Who did you write this for?
It's written for the team that's stuck in functional. It's the team that they're doing okay, they're doing fine, but are they really moving the mission forward? And where are we stuck? Where can we break through? And where can we reach for remarkable in ways that moves the mission forward in ways that we haven't experienced before?
What would you say then to the leader who's they're in that functional place? Maybe they're a bit tired,
Mm,
maybe they're feeling a little bit worn down, burned out by the realities of leading in that space. As we're jumping into this
yeah.
together, what would you say to encourage them?
I would say there are going to be things you're going to hear in these next episodes, things you read about in the book that will focus your efforts. It is easy to get weary in leadership. It's easy to get worn down by the tasks. But if you simply take time to remember why you're doing what you're doing, if you simply take time to reflect on the story that's being told collectively by your team and tweak that, if you take time to invest relationally in culture, if you look at the unique roles around you that can move the mission forward in new and unexpected ways, if you assess the systems that support, maybe you're tired because you just need new and reimagine systems. If you embrace friction, healthy friction as a way to move forward in a healthy way, and then think about strategic risk, it will give you new energy and it will show you where you might be stuck and you in unexpected ways.
Yeah. So, Tim, the concepts in this book, not just theory. In fact, you and I had the opportunity to sit in a room full of executive leaders and begin to walk them through
Yeah.
some of these key signatures. And you've seen this all over the country as our team has been deploying the tools and the resources. What kind of light bulbs are you seeing going off in the organizations that we're engaging with as they're processing this?
Yeah. I think firstly, the simplicity of it. Like this is obvious stuff. It's an obvious pathway. And I think there's a little bit of relief in that, oh, yeah, I've been focusing so much on my own journey.
Hmm.
Here's a tangible pathway that our team can travel together. And then setting time aside, like having the opportunity to speak in rooms and seeing them set time aside to actually focus on the inner workings of the team has been so encouraging. I mean, the workshopping and the questions that come at the end of it have been really enlightening to me. I love learning from the unique work that's going on in the individual teams that we get to work with, but revisiting why we do what we do, revisiting the constructs around what supports the growth of our mission. I mean, I remember I was in a room with you when we were talking about friction,
Yeah, I
and
remember that.
and how just leveraging healthy friction for momentum. So often people ignore it, or naming that it can be lonely when you're assessing when to and not to take risks, and giving an equation about how to do that, how to weigh up strategic risk. And then this isn't just about a book, Brian. Again, this is a kingdom first priority to help teams be healthy. And so there's going to be a team awareness assessment people can take on our website that will give them a sense of where they need to give attention and opportunities for greater and deeper learning around each of these key signatures so that we can continue reaching for remarkable as a team.
Yeah, I love that. The book is very practical.
Yeah.
In fact, the episodes that are coming after as we're talking about this, we're kind of breaking it up. We're going to do a key signature. We're going to talk about a trap later on. We've got some industry experts and people that will be joining us later. I immediately think of the leader that is sitting and they are maybe feeling a bit frustrated. Maybe let's go even further down. They might be feeling a bit broke down, burned out, as they feel their team kind of trapped in a functional space. I mean, these aren't dysfunctional teams even. This is just purely functional. Like, what would you say to the leader that's there right now as they're joining us for this conversation?
Yeah. I would say that it's easy to isolate even when you're on a great team and feel like it all relies on you. And what's great about this pathway is it opens up new thought. It opens up collaboration. I'm a firm believer that one of the most powerful statements a leader can make is, I don't know. We feel like we've got to have the answers so often to earn our place at the table. We just need to pull the chair up to the table and know that we've been invited here and live into the collaboration. That statement, I don't know as a leader, opens up new thought, opens up the way to innovation, opens up collaboration. And the other thing I would say to that leader who's just feeling a little burnt out, a little stuck, is maybe you've gotten ensnared by one of the traps that we talk about in this book. That's been really helpful for me, is to remember the traps we need to look out for to stop us from moving forward and excelling in each of these key signatures. We're going to talk about those traps and how to be really mindful of them. I think that's going to be really helpful as well.
Yeah, and you said the mission is too important for us to aim for anything less than remarkable.
Right.
Tim, thanks so much for being here today, for kicking off this series and writing this book. I'm really excited about the conversations we're going to have. Thank you again.
Thanks, Brian.
Well, that's Tim Foote, CEO of Slingshot Group and author of Reaching for Remarkable. We'd invite you, if you'd like to know more about the book or Slingshot Group, you can learn more at slingshotgroup.org. And if you haven't already, go ahead and grab the book. It's the foundation of everything we're going to be exploring in this series together. Now, for our next episode, we're going to be doing a deep dive into the first key signature of remarkable teams, and that's conviction. So until next time, stay curious and reach for remarkable.